On March 28, 2019, Samantha Josephson called for an Uber after spending time with her friends. She called her boyfriend to pass the time while waiting. When the Uber arrived, Samantha ended the call and got into the car. From that moment, Samantha was no longer in touch. Samantha Lee Josephson was born in 1998 in Robbinsville, New Jersey. After graduating high school with honors, she enrolled at the University of South Carolina. The university was only a few miles from home, but Samantha wanted to receive the best education in political science. In her final year of college, Samantha was accepted into the law program at Drexel University in Philadelphia. She passed the selection process and received a significant scholarship, which would soon make her financially independent from her parents. Moreover, Samantha worked part-time in a cafe and managed all her daily needs herself. While in college, Samantha began dating Greg. He was a year older than her. Despite having graduated earlier, the couple continued their relationship. On March 28, 2019, Samantha was feeling down due to an argument with her parents. She asked Greg to come over, but he had urgent matters to attend to, so he suggested she spend time with friends to distract herself from her family troubles. By midnight, Samantha and her friends arrived at a bar called the Bird Dog. However, the cheerful company couldn't lift her spirits. Still upset about the conflict with her parents, Samantha decided to go home by 2 a.m. While waiting for a cab, Samantha called Greg to pass the time. When the Uber arrived, she said goodbye to her boyfriend and got into the car. A few minutes later, Greg noticed something strange. Samantha's geolocation showed that the car was moving in the opposite direction from her house. He watched as the Uber drove farther and farther from where it had picked her up. Greg tried calling Samantha but couldn't reach her. Thinking she might have left her phone in the cab, he went to sleep. In the morning, Greg learned that Samantha had not shown up for her shift at the cafe. At that moment, he realized something had happened to her. Greg and Samantha's friends called every hospital in the city and walked around the central street near the bar looking for any information, but it was all in vain. Greg then went to the bar to check the surveillance camera footage. The footage clearly showed Samantha talking to Greg on the phone. At 2:12 a.m., she got into a car that had arrived. When Greg went to the police station with the footage, Samantha's parents were already there. One look at their faces was enough to understand that something terrible had happened. Samantha's body was found just hours earlier, hundreds of kilometers from the bar, near a small settlement called New Zion. A local hunter discovered her in a field. For Greg, the news was devastating. He realized that on that night, using the tracking app, he had unknowingly been watching his girlfriend's abduction. The forensic experts determined that Samantha had been stabbed 120 times. An in-depth investigation into this murder began. Experts found out that the Uber driver Samantha had called that night had canceled the ride and never arrived at the location. It became clear that Samantha had gotten into a completely different car. The main task of the police became finding that vehicle. Using surveillance footage, detectives identified the model of the car Samantha had entered, a black Chevrolet Impala. The police reviewed additional footage and saw that the same car had passed by the bar several times before the driver stopped at the spot where Samantha was standing. The police issued a bulletin for the black Chevrolet Impala. Officers worked hard to locate the car, and fortunately, they didn't have to wait long. At 4:30 a.m., 26 hours after Samantha's murder, officers noticed a car matching the description driving just a few meters from the bar. The police stopped the car, and the officer asked the driver to step out, which he did. However, as soon as the officer mentioned the reason for the stop, the driver suddenly started running. Body camera footage captured the moment as it happened.
Who's smoking the marijuana?
I had smoked some earlier, sir, when I was at home.
All right. All right, man, you're gonna have to step on out, man. All right, here's the deal, man. I pulled your car over because it matches the suspect. Get your hand in your pocket. What are you, crazy? Get over here. Hey, get over here. Come on, run. Hey, I'm gonna release the dog. I can't. I was just gonna see if he'll stop. Bravo Mike wearing a gray sweatpants, gray sweatshirt. Walk him up. Doors Blossom, 500 block.
The suspect attempted to escape, but he failed. One of the officers immediately alerted other patrols via radio, and additional units arriving at the scene apprehended the man. The man was identified as 24-year-old Nathaniel Rowland, who had an extensive criminal record. In October 2018, he had been involved in a case where he and a friend forced a woman to drive to an ATM and withdraw all the money from her bank account. Upon examining Nathaniel's car, investigators found much more serious evidence. A large amount of blood was discovered on the passenger seats, and Samantha's phone was found in the glove compartment. During a search of Nathaniel's home, detectives uncovered even more crucial evidence: a knife with traces of Samantha's blood on it. The trial began on July 20, 2021. Witnesses provided important details. On that night, Nathaniel drove back and forth along the street for half an hour before picking up Samantha, proving that he had been deliberately looking for a victim. Another piece of evidence disproved the idea that Samantha had simply mistaken his car for her Uber. Surveillance footage showed a gray car stopping near the parking lot, and Samantha heading toward its passenger door, possibly thinking it was her ride. However, the car drove off and Samantha stepped back. Just a few seconds later, Nathaniel, who had been watching the situation, drove up to Samantha. This showed that he had acted with cold calculation, taking advantage of the girl's uncertainty about the type of car she was expecting. On July 27, 2021, the court delivered its verdict. Nathaniel Rowland was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Samantha's parents were devastated. The criminal had been brought to justice, but their daughter was gone forever. They found the strength to do something meaningful for society. In memory of Samantha, her family founded an organization dedicated to the safety of ride-hailing services like Uber. Samantha's parents successfully pushed for several important laws to be passed in South Carolina. Under the new regulations, drivers are required to display front license plates on their vehicles to make identification easier for customers. Another law requires companies to issue special stickers with driver information, including a photo, name, and vehicle number, which must be displayed on the windshield. Thus, Samantha's family achieved significant legislative changes to ensure that their daughter's tragic story would not be repeated.
Thanks for watching. Knowledge is power. Stay safe, raise awareness, and take care of each other, sisters.